There everyone, welcome back to Bumpus Vaping. And this evening I'm going to build and go over some of the features of this atomizer. This is the Gamma atomizer. I'm not quite sure what version it is. Someone gave it to me yesterday. Take the drip tip off there, and you can see it's got some nice stamps or engravings in it, and it's got airflow control on it, and the way you adjust that is you unscrew this. It had two sets of 3 holes on either side for a dual coil setup, and I mean the holes were teeny tiny small. And I'll show you, I drilled them out to 3/32, one on each side. I'm sure you'll probably be able to see that. Yeah. So yeah, that's the airflow control. And let me put this back on. Okay, pull the cap off. And you'll see you'll have a copper center post, which is nice, and 2 negative posts. And you know, the thing about these negative posts, they're tight right now. The negative posts actually screw into the deck of the atomizer. But if you'll notice, the holes aren't perpendicular. They're kind of cocked over to the side, as you can see. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be designed. Like I said, somebody gave this to me yesterday, and then on the copper center post, I went ahead and drilled the hole out to a 1/16 size to accept larger gauge wire. Otherwise, I couldn't get like 2 26 gauge Kanthal wires through it. So, and that's what I wanted to build it with, was 16 gauge. But if you watch here, as you can see, I can unscrew the negative post, and see that comes out, and there's your post. Also, something about this atomizer, it can be set up several different ways. The surface of the deck is actually concave, and as you can see, the wick holes are pretty good size. I'm going to set this up as an auto dripper. I'm not going to, it's actually a Genesis style atomizer, but with the 3 posts that are in there, it's designed more like a dripping atomizer. So I'm going to set it up as an auto dripping atomizer. I'm going to put dual coils on it, and instead of running cotton as I normally do through the wick holes, I'm just going to run the cotton through the coils when I get them built, and have the cotton sitting on top of the deck. So when I'm vaping it, I'll tip it upside down and let the juice run out of the wick holes and saturate the cotton. And one other nice thing about this atomizer, it's designed similar. It has a similar design as the Kraken. And what I mean by that is this tank, I understand that if normally they come with a glass and a stainless steel tank, like I said, somebody gave this one to me. It didn't have the glass tank with it, just the stainless steel. But you see, that tank slides right off of there. So if you want to run cotton on it, and you know, it makes it very easy to feed the wicks through the atomizer deck. You can grab the wick here and pull it down through, So yeah, that makes it real nice. So yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting atomizer, I believe. So without any more delay, we'll go ahead and get started building it. And I need to build my coils first, so I'll set this over here. And I'll go ahead and, like I said, I'm using 26 gauge wire. I'm going to be wrapping it on an 1/8 inch bit. And I'm shooting for something like a 0.4 ohm build with dual coils. So I'm going to wrap the 26 gauge Kanthal around an 1/8 inch bit 7 times. And that should get me pretty close to a 0.4, maybe just a tad higher ohm reading. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's one coil. Let's do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I've had people ask questions, well, what kind of batteries are you using? I'm using Sony VTC4s, which are high discharge batteries. They're 30 amp batteries. You can safely, well, as safe as you can get, safely run down to, say, a point, well, just to be safe, I'd say a 0.2 ohm coil or build. Actually, I think you can go down to 1.8, but I like a little safety buffer there. And so I probably wouldn't take it below 0.2. But then you have hardcore people out there that you know, will push it to the very limits and maybe even beyond. Okay, so we've got our coils made. We're ready to install them on the atomizer. And I always leave one leg a little longer than the other, and I usually thread the longer leg through the center post. Makes it a little easier. So I want to use this side because of the way that the holes in the negative post are lined up. I think this will be a little bit easier to build. Let me loosen my screws up. The whole post wants to turn. Okay, let's do this again. Through the center post, the positive post. I'm going to run this one through negative post. We can get it fed through there. Okay, just to help me line it up a little bit better, I'm going to use the drill bit and help me position the coil where I want it to be. I'm going to tighten down on the negative post. Okay. I'll get this out, move that leg out of the way. Now for my other coil, I'll slide that in, straighten the leg up a little bit. Let me slide this end. Make sure it's not going through that other coil, which it isn't. Okay. Now, we gotta loosen that screw up. I'll slide it through like so. Again, I'll use my drill bit to help me line that up. I think that'll do it. Tighten up on my negative post. Okay, I'll go ahead and tighten my positive post. Okay. Now they look about, the coils each look about in the same, so they look symmetrical, they're in the same position on either side. Okay, so now I'm going to snip the excess legs off. I'll start off with the negative. Excuse me. Okay. Now to get in here and get these two positive excess trimmed off. There's one. Can't see this one very well. I'll just wiggle this one off. This 26 gauge wire is pretty heavy duty. Let me go ahead and tighten up my positive post a little more. And still, yeah, sometimes you just run into little problems. There we go. Now, and check all my screws to make sure they're tight. Okay, now I'm ready to do an ohm reading on it. Like I said, I was shooting for about a 0.4 ohm. Oh, there you go, 0.4. That'll work for me. Okay, so we've got that done. We're at 0.4, and like I said, I'm going to set this up as a an auto dripper. But before I wick it, I'm going to compress the coils a little bit more. I think they could tend to be a little closer together, the coils. Put it on my mod. And also I like to fire the coils, even if they do look good and they don't need it. I fire the coils to burn off any manufacturing oil or whatever. And because if you don't, sometimes, a lot of times, you get a metallic-y taste. Okay. So I heat up. Heat up the coils, let off, squeeze it with some tweezers. And if the coils are a little bit loose, that will tighten them up some. So I'll do it with this one. Hold it for a second. Yeah. Well, they look pretty good. Okay. Now I'm ready to put a cotton wick on it, or wicks for that matter. And let me see what, oh, here it is. Here's my ohm meter that doesn't work. I use it as a building platform to help hold the atomizer while I'm working on it. And let's see, we got some cotton here. And I think this will do. But you know, I see a problem right now. Well, it won't be much of a problem since I'm not going to be using the wick hole. But one of my coils is covering up the fill hole. So you might want to keep that in mind. This would make a very nice dual wick single coil atomizer also. But anyway, so we can give it a little twist there on the end of the cotton. Pull it through the coil. Make sure it's not too much tension on it. Okay, that's one done. We get another little piece of cotton. Take a little bit off of that. It seems to be a little bit too much to use. Twist up one end of the cotton so I can feed it through the coil. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to use this as an auto dripper. I'm not running the wicks through the holes. So what I'll do is cut off some of this cotton. Cut them off about the same length. About that much. Cut these off about the same length, about that much. Here's my little screwdriver. And let me see where the hole is. The hole is over here. So I'm going to want to stuff the cotton in right there. And right there. And with this side, tuck this underneath here. And tuck this part of the cotton underneath there. Now I can use a bottle, but I'll probably use a syringe to fill that hole, fill up the tank using that hole right there. And so hopefully the way this is going to work is that it'll be on the mod, and you tip it upside down, and juice will flow out of these holes, the hole on this side and the hole on this side, and saturate the cotton wick. And that's all it is to it. Thanks for watching. Again, this is the Gamma. I'm not sure which version, but it's the Gamma Atomizer, dripping atomizer, or excuse me, Genesis style dripping atomizer. I guess it's Genesis style / dripping atomizer. Again, this is the way it's going to work. Adjustable airflow control here. And that's about it. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it helps. Hope you enjoyed it. And please, if you have any questions or are curious about building with cotton, building atomizers with using cotton as a wicking medium, please visit Obsessive Cotton Disorder on Facebook. Join the group. Participate. It's community driven, and we'd be glad to have you over there. And so that's about all I have for you today. Vape on and vape strong and build well. I'll see you later.